Welcome to a 2v2 on Einhoven Country. This game is going to be Crossfire and Looney versus the Snowdrop and Cruzz. Pretty sure I recognize all of these players except for maybe Crossfire. I'm pretty sure I recognize them all. Except for Cruzz. That guy's a nobody. No name scrub. Over here on the right side, we're gonna see mixed allies. Crossfire and Looney playing as Soviets and U.S. forces, and in the north we are going to see Overcommando West and Oster, so all four factions represented this game. Shock, Rifle, Guard, Motor, Mechanized Support, Armor, Infantry, Airborne, Spearhead, Jaeger Armor, Close Air Support, Luftwaffe, Spec Ops, and Scavenge. Available to these players, nobody picking a commander here in the early game, so it doesn't look like we're going to see any 0 CP commanders picked. And the only 0 CP commander I really see anywhere is Armor Company, which I would be very surprised to see that picked on this map generally. I have seen it on this map a few times, but generally assault engineers don't seem to perform all that well. So ready for action. Hi Dutchie, I'm doing well. Rear echelon troops heading right to take control of this victory point. These two rifle squads making their way up the right side towards the munitions. MG42 is on the field to try and punish that. Kuba wagon moving towards the center. And we'll push away that squad of conscripts easily. Slightly overextended right there. Axis are going to be able to get control of pretty much everything in the north and left, I think. Sturm Pioneers are about to engage against conscripts over here. The conscripts are already lightly wounded, and the Sturms might maybe just jump into this green cover. But this range is a little long for them, I think. Conscripts will cease capture of the munitions, though, to try and find some kind of opportunity, I guess, but they're clearly not gonna be able to figure anything out right there, and do get forced to retreat by the Kuba wagon moving up to support. Sturm Pios move to take control of the munitions. On the right side, MG42 and Grenadiers against Riflemen, moving from two different directions. Looks like this engagement's probably gonna go to Looney over here. I don't know if Snowdrop is going to be able to hold this line. Riflemen in green cover are winning against the machine gun in yellow cover right there. Another squad of riflemen on its way to support. Lieutenant's here also unlocked, so Looney's probably making his way towards a quick M20. Maybe. Actually, he's had the resources for that for a while, so maybe he's going AA half-track. I don't know. Crossfire up to 4 cons. Probably going to start unlocking upgrades next. And tier 3 for Cruzz, who is probably going to go with flak half track after Kuba wagon. Pretty standard practice over Commando West, I would say. Some supporting infantry from Cruzz on the flank of the American player alleviates a little bit of pressure from Snowdrop over here on the right side. Conscripts try to get in range on a Kuba wagon, but they get suppressed. Kuba wagon will continue to kite and avoid engine damage. And over here on the left side, Sturm Pioneers engaging against conscripts. Force one retreat a little early on that 4-man squad. This squad fell to 3 men though.
MG support standing by.
Combat engineers taking control of the center. Kuba wagon turning to fire on them. This squad of conscripts taking control of the left side munitions. And there it is, M20. Okay, he just queued it up late then. He could have had that out a while ago. A little late to purchase it, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter. M20 is not going to chase that. He must be afraid of a mine, but there's no mine. There is no mine. I guess Looney felt like, oh, that looks like a bait. It did kind of look like a bait. Crossing that road might have been a bit of a gamble. But fortunately, no mine. Flak half-track is on the field, and that means that the window of opportunity to hunt and kill that has closed. Kuba wagon will get away clean, extremely narrowly, but Flak half-track plus Panzerschreck upgrade there are now both available to counter that M20 in its next push. Black half-track moves up to push away the conscript squad right there, and these 3 squads are moving up to take control of the munitions.
Crew, stand ready. Crew, stand ready. Enemy infantry.
Excuse me. Mine going down now in the road. Wasn't down earlier, but it is now. Half-track trying to keep some infantry at bay. The Kuba wagon looking for opportunities over here, scared off by the M20. LMG Grenadiers working on some infantry squads. American infantry squads will all be forced back into the base. Fuel cache going up right here for Looney, trying to get tanks out just a little bit quicker, I guess. Black half-track pushes away some infantry over here on the left side, and it looks like almost all allied squads from both players are being herded back into the base pretty effectively. The M20 is still the only real serious threat to the Axis right now on this battlefield.
Ready for action. Target captured. No enemy contact. Enemy fire! Take cover!
Stern Pioneers inside the building have the Minesweeper equipped, and at this range they're not going to be doing that much damage anyway. Grenadiers get pushed off the cutoff by massed infantry plus M20. Volks Grenadiers moving to try and harass the fuel point will encounter a Minesweeper. They could charge that though if they wanted to. Here comes the first AT gun for Snowdrop, who has chosen Spearhead and fielded a mortar half-track, interestingly enough. On this map, it's probably not a terrible choice. Probably performed pretty okay. Late retreat by Cruzz's stern piles right there, and they do get wiped, unfortunately. AA half-track on the field. Drives right into the AT gun, though. Oh my god, I think that's gonna die. Well, that probably could not have been maneuvered worse right there. He was not expecting that AT gun to be set up perfectly for that engagement, and it goes down the instant it hits the field. Didn't even get to engage once. M20 is looking for an opportunity against Cruzz's SWS right here. He's already built tier 3, but he's not built tier 2, and this is going to seriously delay any further tech. AT gun sets up SWS trying to bait the M20 in. Gets one shot off, M20 will disengage. Cruzz is probably going to pull that back and set up his next tech structure. Whatever it may be. Probably tier 2. I'm not really expecting Cruzz to go tier 4. I'm pretty sure Cruzz subscribes to the school of thought that says tier 4 is basically useless now. Kuba wagon trying to pull back to safety away from these 2 squads. Does take engine destroyed, I think? No, just engine damage. Trying to pin down these squads to prevent it taking any further damage. The flamethrower is not quite pinned yet. M20 is rotating left to do what it can. Also, American tanks are going to be very late this game. Black half-track is actually losing this engagement. Turns to fire on the M20, using attack ground to be able to attack from within minimum range. Also pops smoke so that the M20 can't fire back on it in return. These infantry are just like charging into point blank on the Black half-track. I can't tell what's going to happen here. I think the Black half-track is going to die. The Thompson on the lieutenant is going to bring it down pretty quick. And Cruzz has allowed his Black half-track to be destroyed right there. There was a point during that where the Black half-track probably could have gotten to safety. He pretty much just left it there. I'm not sure what he was thinking. Black half-track goes down. Kuba wagon is pulled back for repairs right here, and Cruzz has teched tier nothing. SWS is heading oddly strange. I don't know, maybe he will throw up tier 4 to protect the victory point or something. I'm not sure. Not sure what his plans are. Heavy damage on the M20 from Folks Grenadiers. Cancer Strike's moving up over here on the left side. They're going to be forced to retreat soon. Molotov toss on that Pio squad. They'll be forced to retreat right there. Grenadiers working on the munitions point over here on the left side. Rear echelon troops working on the fuel over there on the right. Currently, the map is looking like it's in pretty good Allied control. Axis definitely need to get back control of their fuel point here. And wow, okay, I was totally wrong. Completely misread Cruzz's strategy this game. Has built tier 4 over here, and where it can semi-protect the VP, mostly just protecting this road and strategic point. It'd be pretty difficult to get a line on it with an AT gun, I think. Maybe there's a line right here, though. So probably, I don't know. Interesting placement. I've never seen a OKW tier 4 built in that location. Curious to see if it'll work out. Folks Grenadiers working over here on the left side. Fuel point slowly getting that back under control while Soviet forces mobilize towards the cutoff, and the American flare going very hard over here to the right. Looney's decision to invest this much fuel into light vehicles is causing his tanks to be very late, 12 minutes in, and he doesn't even have his major out yet, let alone a Sherman.
This lousy patch of dirt is ours.
So clearly he's gonna be struggling a little bit as the game escalates.
Boys, you ready to roll
M6
out?
mine going down in the road right here. Rifleman will encounter the tier 4 structure and get suppressed immediately and forced to retreat. Lieutenant making a play for the munitions. Wagon and MG and mortar half track continue to simply defend here in the middle.
We're on target!
New anti-tank gun has arrived.
There goes the Kuba wagon. Infantry company has been chosen by Looney. He's up to 3 CPs, but he hasn't fielded any LMGs yet. It's a little weird. A lot of his munitions is going into the M6 mines, plus armor skirts on his M20. He's not tech grenades, so he hasn't been throwing any of those. Just mostly vehicle-based munitions expenditures. So that's going to slow down LMG production a little bit. He can only afford 2. Allied map control hasn't been what it could have been either this game.
Target down! Target down!
Grenadiers forced to retreat through red cover, get away narrowly.
T-42! Hit the ground!
Mortars are being fired in the area, but no big hits yet. The AT gun moves up from the right flank to take shots on the M20, but doesn't quite land any. The Axis are getting full control of the left side here, and Cruzz says, oh, okay, that's why Cruzz went to it for. He wants to use SCG Oversoldaten, having picked Spec Ops, and he's probably going to, from this point forward, try and make his way to Command Panther. Kind of surprised to see Spec Ops SCG Overs deployed by Cruzz on this map. It's not really a close range map. It seems like more of an LMG map. They're still, I mean, they're basically good at all ranges, honestly, but not sure what I think about that. See if that works out for him or not. Looney still has a ways to go before getting out anything. There's the major. Gonna probably set up a forward reinforce point on his ambulance soon. The Axis look like they're pretty much just stomping everywhere. I don't know if the Allies are gonna be able to come back from this awful start. Axis are setting up a pretty aggressive containment. Allies moving to break it over there on the left side. The map's been pretty back and forth this game, in all fairness. In all fairness, it's been pretty back and forth. Right now it looks pretty rough for the Allies, though. They're gonna need to make a pretty dramatic, like, turnaround if they're gonna recover this game. The game's not over, though. Crossfire has 280 fuel in the bank and 800 manpower. No commander selection yet. Once he gets to 10 CPs, he'll have access to the T-3045s. Out of 9, he could maybe field a KV-8. He's got some options. Mechanized assault, the ISU is great on this map as well. Perfectly good option.
Grenadiers ready
Mortar bombarding over here on the fuel point, plus rifle grenades. That'll be forced to retreat. Shoe mine on the point does 2 model losses on that lieutenant. AA half-track moves to support. The AT gun takes a shot. It looks like that AA half-track will just get barely outside of its range. Infiltration grenade toss on the AT gun. Slightly off target, actually. That spread wasn't very good. AT gun will survive it. 1 squad of LMG Grens forced to retreat. Really big engagement by the Axis for the right side fuel point, which has weakened their defenses over here on the left. Conscripts are getting control of this point pretty much unopposed right now. Flamethrowers not being monitored, and this engagement goes down pretty quick. M20 moves up to support in this engagement as well. And that grenade just wiped those Grens. Looks like this engagement is definitely going in favor of the Allies, which may even be able to steal this AT gun right here. Both AT guns, in fact, just got cleared. This was exactly what the Allies needed to kind of bounce back into this game. Like heavy losses on the Axis over here on the right side engagement, and simultaneously taking control of the entire left side. Pretty much unopposed. Cruzz STG Obers jump into this engagement too, and will be forced to retreat by a Molotov right there. Machine gun doesn't quite have a line on the rifleman advancing into the center VP. That needs to retreat. Cruzz Rakenwerfer looks like it might have to retreat. Whoa! S-mines. Just did a lot of damage to the riflemen in the central victory point. They'll be forced to retreat. So, 1 AT gun got recovered, the one that got abandoned there on the road. The other one not recovered by either team yet. Axis are going to make a push to try and maybe get that under their control, I think. LMG Grens might be able to punish that lieutenant for trying to recover that. He retreats instantly, should get away. The infantry that actually moved to recover it, though, immediately get cleared off the gun by these advancing troops. Double mortar half-track is a bit of a threat to any infantry blobs that might advance into this engagement coming up. And once that AT gun gets recovered, those light vehicles will have to be very careful. The Soviet player is rotating all of his forces away from the engagement for the right side fuel and back towards the engagement for the center victory point. Cruzz is losing that engagement. Obersoldaten will be forced to retreat by a Maxim. Maxim's on the field. Crossfire still floating a very large amount of resources though, and he has not fielded any call-ins of any kind. AT gun finally lands a shot on the AA half-track, but it looks like it will get clear. Oh, no it won't. AT gun gets a second shot off and it goes down. Rifle grenade deals heavy damage to those riflemen. One squad gets wiped, the other ones will be forced to retreat. And there's a priest on the field for Looney, who may not have had any intention of ever going tanks this map, this game, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Interesting choice. There's no battle group headquarters for that priest to try and hit, though. Unfortunately, the Axis have spread their units out to a lot of different places on this map. But the priest should pretty effectively be able to punish heavy usage of team weapons over here on the right side, I guess. Pretty decent potential there. Also, note the large amount of manpower invested into fuel caches by Looney this game, leaving him with a pretty small infantry corps. Just a few squads, really. A lot of his resources going into fuel. So even though the Allies don't necessarily hold a fuel point at all points of this game, their fuel income is still very high. 28 fuel coming in right now, giving Crossfire 400 fuel. 400 fuel in 20 minutes, which he has not spent a single drop of it yet. But once he has access to call-ins, which he pretty much does at this point, I don't even know what he's waiting for on that. Maybe he's waiting for ISU, I guess. But I'm surprised to see him go such hard tier 2 and not field any call-in infantry, no guards and no shocks. American player will be able to overwhelm everything over here on the right side.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Objective secure. We will defend it to the death.
Shots off the ground! Hail the crew!
Priest making its way towards the right side. LMG grins and Cruzz has a bit of a blob. And there's the Command Panther, by the way. Finally managed to get that on the field, making its way towards the middle. Huge Soviet blob. Look at that. That's almost the entire Soviet army in this tiny little area. Whoa, that Panther just made a way overly aggressive maneuver right there. Cruzz, what are you doing? That was a horrible idea. That Panther is pretty much guaranteed dead. Obersoldaten are moving up to try and clear the guns. Apparently the tank slid forward. I don't know what that means. I guess Cruzz didn't mean to do that.
200 points remaining.
Priest is bombarding over here on the right side.
We are bleeding, comrade. Put down your
Oh, it's bombarding the, wow. Wow, it's done a lot of damage to Cruzz's tier 4 over here. Is it just the Priest doing that, or does something else do that? I don't know. That weird AT gun placement makes me think maybe the AT gun was shooting at it or something. I'm not sure what happened right there. But Cruzz needs to get that repaired. It's falling dangerously low. Meanwhile, Looney's forces are looking pretty weak. The lieutenant got wiped in the last engagement. I wasn't watching. Doesn't have very much stuff left. Crossfire has plenty of stuff left, which is just begging to get nailed by a Stuka or something. But unfortunately, the Axis don't really have enough indirect fire to punish that behavior, I guess. Either that or it's just not being used that effectively. There's 2 mortar half-tracks on the field, so you'd think that they would be pretty good for leading this, if not just annihilating it the way a Stuka would. And yes, ISU hype. There is now an ISU 152 on the field, and there will be 2 of them on the field pretty soon, honestly. Crossfire has to lose some of his tier 2 or conscripts or something. He needs to start trading very aggressively if he's going to be able to field another IS-2. But he's pretty much already got the resources together for one.
reinforcements complete.
He's firing on the tier 4 again, wipes that flamethrower. Cruzz heard the Priest firing and moved away from the structure. His teammate, on the other hand, did not.
Target secured.
Conscripts moving to engage over here against Folks Grenadiers. Conscripts should be able to win that. The ISU has already started firing on units in the middle and has already wiped a squad, apparently. A flamethrower squad and the Sturm Pioneer squad both get wiped. 2 shots, 2 wipes, off to a pretty impressive start. Looks like that might die. Survives with a tiny sliver of health. Tiger moving up to try and punish the ISU if possible. There's 2 AT guns set up to protect its flank, but both of their shots bounce on the Tiger's frontal armor. Tiger shot and Panzerfaust also bounce. Wow, that was a very bounce-tastic engagement. Nothing is even taking damage currently. There we go. 1 shot penetrates the Tiger. Tiger switches targets to fire on that mortar instead. Mortar half-tracks moving up to try and clear those AT guns, maybe with an incendiary round. Now just regular mortar barrage. That's a decent hit off right there. The other mortar is Vet 2 and also moving up to try and clear those guns. ISU fires on the mortar half-track in retaliation and almost destroys it, gets the main gun destroy crit on that thing. Deploys smoke, try and get itself back to safety, and AT guns are moving up to maybe push that ISU away if possible. Looks like the tier 4 is coming extremely close to being destroyed. Time on target artillery just got dropped on top of it, but it still has a tiny sliver of HP, hanging on by a thread. I hate hiccups. I think the Priest is going to be able to finish this off. Oh, takes 2 Grenadiers out as well.
Command has been lost. Dispatching a mobile HQ vehicle.
Taking fire.
there's the second IS-2, or ISU. Enough Soviet stuff has died to allow for the second one to hit the field, which brings Crossfire up to 97 of 100 pop cap. The original one is up to 8 kills, the new one hasn't hit anything yet. Pretty much all Axis forces are just trying to stay outside of their vision. And fortunately, although the ISU can be devastating on this map and engagements for the center, the map is big enough and has important enough flanks that the Axis have options other than to just dive into an ISU. They're both pretty much just spreading out and working the sides of the map right now, which is can be difficult for the Axis to do, but against double ISU, there's not that mobile of an allied force to work the flanks. But clearly the right side is proving more difficult for the Axis than the left right now. Pretty decent amount of US forces and Soviet forces available over here to try and keep them back. Tiger is going to try and engage against Jackson, pushing that back around that corner. Stern Pioneers have to retreat though. Grenadiers look like they're confident enough to try and get the victory point captured. Jackson takes another shot at the Tiger from around the corner before pulling back behind the wall again. Goes for a third shot, which will connect. Tiger does not have the proper turret rotation to hit that Jackson when it exposes itself. Over here on the left side, ISUs seem to be wreaking havoc on anything that exposes itself. Volksgrenadiers wiped. Raketenwerfer right there wiped. Cruzz being reduced to very few forces remaining. Just 2 Volksgrenadier squads, just 2 Oberst squads, Stern Pios, and pretty much nothing else. Which is obviously not a force that's even remotely capable of taking on double ISU. Definitely needs a lot of support from his teammates Tigers. The second one should be here pretty soon. And Cruzz might consider going Command Panther next, or maybe he'll just try to go King Tiger or something, I don't know. Those ISUs are clearly a difficult problem to solve, and we just have to try and avoid them for now. And because of that, there's probably nothing the Axis can do to preserve this structure. Once that gets destroyed, Cruzz will no longer be able to utilize fuel transfer. Time on target, no, bomb strike. Bomb strike plus ISU fire, and that structure will be destroyed. It's just a matter of time.
Small arms fire!
Mechanized regimental HQ has been destroyed. A mobile command vehicle has been dispatched. Prepare for action!
ISU takes a big shot at the advancing squads of Obers right there, plus HE shells. Forces that retreat. Looks like they should both be able to get away alive. Major recon pass plus time on... No, plus priest barrage over here, apparently. Is he trying to snipe that? And he just sniped the SWS with his priest. Kind of an interesting decision. I guess he wants to prevent Cruzz from ever having access to tier 4 again. It's kind of a weird target to pick out of everything that Major Recon Pass just gave vision of. Killed the SWS half-track. Tiger moves up over here on the right side to engage against some infantry. There is a Jackson still available over here. AT gun moves up to protect. Meanwhile, over here in the center/left, ISU is engaging against a freshly fielded Command Panther plus Raketenwerfer. Command Panther with the support of 2 Tigers, or rather 2 Tigers with the support of a Command Panther, should have a pretty decent chance against double ISU, I think. Which, because they don't really have, well, they do actually have 2 AT guns protecting the flank, so they need a pretty good coordinated push. Moving in from maybe the left flank with Obers or something to clear those AT guns, simultaneously with a push from the front by Tigers plus Panthers to try and take out those ISUs. Otherwise, you're just going to have to try and whittle them down. They need to try and keep working the left flank if possible. Grenadiers moving up over here, deploy a rifle grenade, force a retreat from that rifle squad, and should hopefully be able to get this territory back into Axis control, get the clock ticking against the Allies again, try and finish out this game. Axis had a huge early game advantage, 426 to 93, a huge victory point lead. They just need to whittle a little bit more down. The ISUs are making that very difficult. Big hit on the AT gun right there, clears it again. Command Panther moves up to try and snipe that Jackson, and it will go down. Nice pickup by Cruzz right there, taking out that tank destroyer. This Command Panther off to a much more promising start than his last one, which basically just dove into the entire Soviet army and immediately died. Grenadiers damaged an M20 engine over here on the left side before being forced to retreat. The crew might get the victory point captured and get the clock ticking against the Axis once again. Over here on the right side, a Sherman will protect against harassment by Cruzz's Volksgrenadiers easily. Bit of a late reaction by Cruzz, I think. No, he saw that. Fired the pinch strike there intentionally at the Sherman before retreating just to get himself a little bit of veterancy. Both Tigers are apparently being dedicated to the left side victory point engagement, which seems like a bit of an overcommitment of forces, but it'll definitely win that.
Receiving fire! They got zeroed in here!
M20 is destroyed,
Lay down a base of fire!
but Grenadiers, unfortunately, supporting the Tiger, get wiped.
Point the gun!
Command Panther hits an M6 mine, I think, over here. Right? I'm pretty sure that was an M6 mine in the road. That mine is going, that is going to cost Cruzz big time. I don't know if there's any way for him to win an engagement with that, with this Command Panther and survive this and get that thing repaired. It's going to be absolutely critical that he get that thing's treads fixed before anything that can potentially destroy that Panther arrives. Armor-piercing rounds equipped on the ISU mean that it can't counter the Raketen. Well, apparently, maybe it kind of can counter that Raketen mortar. Obersoldaten moving to try and kill that AT gun. Maybe. Still has armor-piercing rounds equipped. Raketen warfare is not quite in range. Priest is bombarding the Panther itself. Fortunately, no shots have hit the Stern Pioneers repairing just yet. But every single one of those has the potential to wipe that squad and kill that Panther effectively. It can't receive repairs, it can't move. Fortunately, all shots thus far have missed, and it looks like Cruzz is somehow going to manage to get that thing fixed and not be punished horribly for his driving over that M6 mine. Incendiary mortar on the AT gun right there. Almost clears it, not quite. It will get back to safety.
Orders incoming! We're on the hook over here!
Lots of damage on the Command Panther right there from AT guns and assault guns. Alright. Obersoldaten are starting to perform pretty well here in engagements deep behind enemy lines. Every time those ISUs create even a little space by equipping armor-piercing rounds, those Obersoldaten move in and punish it hard, wiping anything they can find. Allied infantry forces are starting to look a little bit thin. Both AT guns are still alive though, so that's good. The Axis decision, not Cruzz's decision basically, not to field a Stuka, is making the Soviet hard tier 2 work pretty effectively. Having a Stuka would really help, especially since everything else just gets blasted by these ISUs anyway. Long-range weapons end up being the name of the game. After a certain point, I think. But having to replace the original Command Panther is definitely setting Cruzz's fuel back. He's up to 147 now, although his mechanized regiment HQ has been destroyed. So if he does want to go Stuka, it's gonna be a while. It's going to be a pretty good while. Grenadiers trying to push back some riflemen over here on the right side munitions point. The riflemen have cleared the AT gun right there. Sherman moving in on the Tiger over here, apparently over here on the left side. Which it probably should not do. I don't think it can take a Tiger. There's not much of an escape route up here either, and no support is on its way. AT grenade on the Command Panther in the middle, and it gets its engine damaged. It looks like it's probably going to be destroyed by massive amounts of this tank. No way of winning that. The Sherman does go down to the Tiger over here on the left side, fortunately. Rifleman will be forced to retreat there. And I think Cruzz does want to go Stuka because he's rebuilding his mechanized regiment HQ right here, so it'll be available to repair that Tiger. But the loss of a second Command Panther may prove to be too crippling. I don't know if there's going to be anything that the Axis can do to recover from these losses with 2 vetted ISUs on the field. Looney is kind of struggling to keep his armored forces alive as well, though. He's lost all of his light vehicles. He's lost at least 1 tank that I've seen. Currently operating on just a Jackson, a Priest, and soon another Sherman.
AP mines down.
Cruzz planting some mines over here on the right side and trying to get this territory under control. Despite the loss of both of his Command Panthers, he does still have 2 highly vetted squads of Obers to try and clear out Soviet infantry and team weapons, so that's something. He does need to try and keep them from engaging in front of an ISU if it can be avoided.
Target captured. Contact! Small arms fire!
Riflemen heading right should be able to easily win an engagement against these fresh Volksgrenadiers. Cruzz briefly takes control of stuff over here on the right side, but looks like it's going to be forced away. ISU fire on those Obers in the middle are either going to kill them or force them to retreat. And they get wiped. That's a very expensive loss. That was one of his 2 vetted squads of Obers. Not sure what these Volksgrenadiers are doing. They were looking for an opportunity on that ambulance behind enemy lines, but they get bled too hard. And they're now going to have to retreat through everything, including an ISU. Tiger moves up to try and absorb fire for those Volksgrenadiers. I don't know if it's going to be sufficient, though. Pop smoke? Maybe. Nope. Nope. Sturm Pioneers make a bit of a late retreat against these riflemen as well, but I think they're going to make it through to safety with that smoke cloud. They should not get to safety. Man, these ISUs are just wiping everything. 33 kills on one, 30 on the other. There's 63 kills between them. They haven't even been on the field for that long. They're just killing everything. There's barely any forces remaining from either player. Snowdrop has 71 pop cap because he's got 2 Tigers on the field. Cruzz, on the other hand, is reduced to only 28. He is fielding a Stuka now, but it seems a little late, and I don't know if his teammate is going to be able to take on 2 ISUs with 2 Tigers when Crossfire has 400 fuel floating, 1,400 manpower in the bank, even at 99 of 100 pop cap. Axis have definitely lost control of this game, which is tragic because there's only 78 victory points left on the board for the Allies. Stuka does hit the field before the new Tier 3 gets destroyed, fortunately. Stuka will start fire on the middle, I suspect. No, firing on the cutoff. And he does wipe the squad that was capturing it. Tier 3 does go down, unfortunately. Stuka's up 6 kills. Priest is bombarding here in the base to try and maybe get a lucky shot on this Tiger as it's repairing. Doesn't look like the barrage is centered in their correct location, though.
Volksgrenadier, ready for action.
Incoming fire!
Vet 4 on this Oversoldon squad making its way to the left side. Pushes away. One squad of conscripts. Even taking control of the fuel point is dangerous with the ISUs moving up into very aggressive locations. The Tigers are going to have a lot of trouble closing the gap on those ISUs across this wide open field. This is a pretty much ISU heaven up here. Meanwhile, on the right side, defense is being laid apparently. Fighting position from these riflemen. Squads should be able to, mine right there, should be able to get control of the right side VP and hold it, since there's very little available for counterattack right now. Every time those Tigers even slightly expose themselves, take a big volley of ISU fire. This one's fully repaired, this one's soon to be fully repaired. AT guns plus Raketenwerfer moving up to try and blink away at that ISU frontally. It's just going to pull back. Fight those anti-tank weapons to death. Priest also firing on these team weapons. Looks like this is going to be a pretty big push. Stuka is going to choose to fire on the Priest, I guess. Not sure what that's shooting at. No, the field gun and mortar. Wow! That Stuka barrage just one-shotted a Jackson at full health because it backed up through the spread of the rockets. That was crazy. Stuka kills a Jackson right there. Was not targeted at these team weapons. ISU is falling a little bit low, both of them at about half health. AT weapons plus Tigers moving up to do what they can here. This Tiger got marked and is forced back for repairs. This Tiger moving up, taking shots at the Sherman right there. Not able to find any opportunities against the ISUs, which are pulled back behind the safety of these AT guns. Fragmentation bombs get dropped on the mortar, so that gets cleared. And AT guns continue their advance against these IS-2s. Because of the terrain variations in this engagement, the ISU shots are all missing. AT gun shots seem to be connecting pretty nicely. They still haven't been cleared, and one of them actually goes down. The Vet 2 ISU destroyed in that engagement. Those AT guns are maybe turning the game back around a little bit. Crossfire, of course, has the resources for 2 more ISUs, even if both of his existing ones get destroyed. That's how much resource reserves he has in the bank right now. But it looks like the Axis have a glimmer of hope. The tiniest glimmer of hope of taking back control of this game. Both Soviet field guns cleared right there. But the repairs on the Tiger here in the back get punished by a Priest barrage, which very nearly wiped those Stern Pioneers. Do wipe, apparently, a Pinstripe squad at some point. And that Tiger is operating on a very low amount of HP right now. Pretty dicey situation. Fresh Jackson on the field. This Tiger has to pop smoke. Stuka barrage on the field gun plus ISU does minor damage, nothing too serious. But the clock is ticking against the Allies again. Only 73 points remaining. Putting pressure on Looney to send units left. Riflemen to get control of the VP. Sherman in the area to push any defending squads away. MG-42. Vet 3 is trying to prevent recapture of the center victory point with armor-piercing incendiary rounds, trying to force away these conscripts in the middle. Vet 4 Ogres need to get back to the front line of Paul. Wow, they have 36 kills. That's a lot. Apparently those SCG Ogres, not necessarily a bad choice. Not a bad choice, although ever since the ISUs have hit the field, they've been struggling to have a dramatic impact. As long as you can get them behind the ISU wall. There's 3 of them out right now. That's all of Crossfire's fuel reserves finally exhausted, but 3 ISUs is just so many. That is really hard to do anything about. It doesn't even matter what your composition is. This is extremely difficult to combat. Crossfire up to 103 pop cap somehow, apparently. Probably from reinforcement. He can't reinforce anything, by the way. He has 3 one-man conscript squads that are just like, oh, well, I guess we're one-man conscript squads that can't do anything. Other than maybe get wiped.
We now have access to ISU-152 tanks.
Stuka bombarding over here. I think he's just firing the Stukas at the ISUs just to try and do a little bit of chip damage. Vets his Stuka up, so that's nice, I guess, but
Reconnaissance by flare now available.
anything that is even very briefly exposed to ISU fire is just going to evaporate. This is just suicidal. So much for those two squads. I don't know what he thought that was going to do. Command Panther on the field. Command Panther supporting 2 Tigers. Maybe could be 3 ISUs. If they were like totally unsupported, it would work. There's Jackson's behind. Vet 3 field gun behind. Priest can maybe randomly do damage to stuff. Makes this a very difficult situation. Once Snowdrop maybe gets out of the 3rd Tiger, I can try and figure something out. Plane crash in the base doesn't hit anything, fortunately.
Enemy forces have 100 points.
Oh, there's a plane crash right here too that cleared the field gun. Right? Is that what that is? That looks like a plane crash. I don't know how a plane... I don't know what kind of plane crash that was. Oh, major recon pass, I guess. Triple cap still going against the Axis with only 82 points remaining. There you don't seem to be making a whole lot of progress on any particular front. Stuka will clear out some riflemen, forcing retreats or weapon squads. Tiger moving up to take shots at the Jackson, should be able to push that away. Oh no, the Stuka just got hunted down by that Sherman. Nice pickup by Looney right there. He totally found that thing unprotected. Command Panther trying to chase it down and punish. Should be successful, I think. Maybe. Main gun destroyed. Oh no. That Command Panther, that's the 3rd Command Panther from Cruzz. You cannot afford to lose a 3rd one of those. The Sherman finally goes down to a Panzer Shrek shot there from that squad. The Jackson with engine damage looks like it might go down as well, unless that AT gun misses. Priest bombardment on the right side, point to try and slow down capture. No attempt for the left side currently, no attempt for the center. All forces being deployed right, which means that ISU's just wiped out that 4 Obersoldaten squad. Cruzz doesn't even have Stern Piles out right now, so repairs on his Command Panther are probably going to be too slow for it to ever make it back onto this battlefield. Volks Grenadiers get wiped and Cruzz has no infantry remaining. Snowdrop currently has 2 Vet 2 Tigers, but I don't really think that 2 Tigers can beat 3 ISUs plus the entire remaining American army, even with Command Panther support theoretically later on. Extremely tenuous grasp on just 1 victory point, and taking a 2nd one seems impossible. I don't think the Axis have any way of recovering from the situation they're currently in.
Pack loaded for panzer hunting. It's done.
Major recon pass will provide vision of various forces over here on the right side, possibly also the Axis base.
We are losing. We have 10 points remaining.
Priest is going to bombard based on that knowledge. Not really hitting anything though. Tigers moving up to advance over here on the southeast flank. They should be able to do so without being under ISU fire. Fragmentation bombs deployed into the center are not going to do anything. Tigers moving up aggressively into the U.S. deep behind enemy lines. They will kill a Jackson, but it just does not matter. Even with the 2 Vet 2 Tigers killing everything Looney has left, the Axis just could not get control of any victory points, and Cruzz also basically has no units at all. ISUs basically win it for the Allies, despite the fact that they were way behind. It didn't look like there was any way they were going to maybe be able to recover this game. ISUs turned that situation around quick, getting a combined 67 kills on these 3 plus whatever 20, whatever the other one had before it died. I think it actually had 30 some. So almost 100 kills combined on ISUs, 4 ISUs throughout the course of this game. Magically saved the day. Which just goes to show that even with the changes to the ISU to tone it down, it's still a pretty ridiculous unit. So, take from that what you will. To be fair, I think Cruzz did make a few questionable maneuvers with his tanks this game. First one suicided into a Soviet blob. Second one hit an M6 mine over here on the right side. Third one, the fact that he even had to make 3 Command Panthers is probably already a bad sign. So there you go. GG. Allies win.